Hello everybody, welcome to OriginalContentHD and welcome to another Jump Heroes news video. Today I join you from deep underground. I am on the run from the Japanese fans of Jump Heroes. They were not pleased when they saw the scan for the 5.5 anniversary event leaked on their timeline, and truth be told, I wish I hadn't seen it either. Not because I didn't want to see the leaks, but because, damn, for a period there, we lived in a world where I didn't know what was coming, and I was happy. I was happier then than I am now. But now we know, and now I feel duty bound to discuss it with the people in this video. So, let's get started. First things first, who is the Densetsu? It is, of course, I know nobody saw this coming, Gear 5 Luffy. It's Luffy. It's certainly Luffy. I don't think it's a bad choice for a Densetsu. I think it's kind of cool. Like, he's supposed to have really strong abilities and stuff. So, I mean, I'm down. It's cool. Awesome. I don't really have much more to say about this because we kind of talked at length about how we kind of expected it to be him, and guess what? It's him. But what you didn't see coming, or at least what I didn't see coming, was that there would be a second top tier unit in this event. We already have a Densetsu, but now there will also be a Muso. Is there any previous precedent set for this happening? Absolutely not. Were there any signs that this might happen at some point in the future? Maybe. Debatably. I mean, truth be told, they've been releasing more limiteds. They've been making limiteds easier to obtain, at least old limiteds easier to obtain. They have been giving out more rubies. I mean, they have basically been making limiteds slightly less special. They have been making heroes slightly less special, I guess. But Muso Densetsu are still very special. They're the top tier units. They're always super strong, super powerful, and most important of all, super expensive. So I guess it makes sense to an extent. Personally, how I would have done it would have been increasing the frequency of us receiving them rather than releasing two at once. You know, maybe get one every, like, couple of events, not couple of events, but every couple of months, and just have big ones, you know, headlining big events. Simple as. They have gone about it in a very different way. The Muso, who's actually been on your screen this entire time, is of course Angel Son Goku. Now, the observant ones, the ones that know, the ones that have watched videos in the past or have been browsing, you know, Twitter, have been browsing the OCHD news posts, who have been in the Discord servers, they will say, hang on a minute, Angel Goku was on the Taiwan server and he was an event unit. Surely this is some kind of mistake. No, it is the same. It is the same Angel Goku who transforms into Super Saiyan 2 in his special attack. The one that is on the screen now, seemingly the same one we will be getting, and you can see him in the post here. Now, you may have some questions. I have some questions. For one, if he was an event unit on Taiwan, why is he being promoted to a Muso on the JP server? The answer is, I don't know. The second question, if he is an event unit on the Taiwan server, and this event is supposed to be a joint celebration for both versions of the game, how are they going to get a Muso in their event if they already have this Goku? The answer, I don't know. And I guess for me, most important of all, why this version of Goku for a Muso beyond anything else? Hypothetically, even if we, and I am going to permanently sever the idea of Dragon Ball Super, the idea of movie stuff, the idea of Dragon Ball GT, the idea of anything beyond the realm of the Dragon Ball chapters that appeared in Weekly Shonen Jump, it does not exist to these devs. From this point onwards, no Ultra Instinct Goku talk from me, no Gogeta talk from me, no Beerus talk from me, none of that stuff. You have chapter 1 of Dragon Ball up to Goku flies off at the end of the Majin Buu saga. That's it. That is all that exists. Nothing else to do with Dragon Ball exists for Jumputi heroes. But still, even if you ignore all of that stuff, how is this the best choice for... I mean, Super Saiyan 2 Goku, they already made him a free unit on the Tier 1 server for a reason. It's not relevant enough to be a Muso. It should have been Namek Goku, remastered, done properly in the style of the manga. Instead, it's this jobber. For me personally, Muso Densetsu, it doesn't necessarily have to be like the absolute peak of the story. However, if a character is chosen for it, they need to have a certain level of importance, or it has to be from a moment in the story during which they have a certain level of power, certain level of importance to the story. So, for example, Hashirama Senju is the first Hokage. He's super important, so him being a Muso 100% makes sense. Same with Gold Roger. He's the whole reason One Piece is happening. And he is a Muso, and that makes sense. Even with the Densetsu, it's always been like either a super important character or a character where it's like a super important moment for them in the story. This Goku, I mean, you can make an argument that Goku in general is super important to Dragon Ball, but this is not that guy. This is just a random Goku. This could be an event unit, this could be a hero, this could be whatever, but Muso Densetsu, this makes no sense. And people will pull for it because it is Goku. And this will be a big sell. You know, people are going to open Weekly Shonen Jump. It's like, whoa, they got Goku and Luffy? Here's my credit card. But why this Goku? I understand that it's sort of blowing your load if you had like Namek Goku and Gear 5 Luffy in the same event, because it's like, where'd you go from there? That's like the biggest event they will ever do. But that doesn't mean you had to put this Goku. You could have chosen anything. But they didn't. And I discussed this in my video in the roadmap. I felt like they were going to, at their earliest convenience, introduce units that are present on the Tier 1 server that are not present on the JP server. I said probably next month we'd see them. Turns out they're coming a bit sooner. I did think that there was a possibility they might come during the anniversary, but I was expecting that it would be like maybe one of them at most. Instead, you can now see the limiteds on your screen. We now have 3 of the 4 units I mentioned in that video coming to the game. It's possible Aldebaran's there because they haven't mentioned hero grade units. They haven't mentioned event grade units, so we don't know what's happening there. But Byakuya is here, Kakashi is here. This Crollo is actually new. And I think most people would agree that is a perfectly fine pick for a limited. I know we already have a limited Crollo, and it is a bit disheartening that we're constantly going back to version 2, version 3, version 4, version 5, whatever. But this is Crollo versus Hisoka. Absolutely fine as a limited. I think everyone would be pretty much okay with that. We don't get that much Hunter x Hunter, and I know there was someone in like the development room for this event where it's like, guys, I know the event's already done, but Tagashi Sensei posted a picture of the corner of a piece of paper. I think we need to put a Hunter x Hunter limit in this event. What do we have ready? It's like, oh, we've got this Crollo. It's like, oh, put him in there. So I am perfectly okay with Crollo. Love the sprite. Awesome. Totally on board. I do not hate Byakuya and Kakashi as as choices for limiteds. I think it's cool that they exist. You know, they are Taiwan imports, but ultimately everybody wanted to see them come over to the JP server. I'm on board. These limited choices, I'm on board. Ultimately, as a whole, this event, not a fan of what we've seen so far. There will be more, and obviously a lot of that will be tied to Ruby rewards and stuff like that. But I still have some issues. For a start, the Taiwan server, this Goku already exists over there. He's an event unit. This Byakuya already exists over there. This Kakashi already exists over there. What does their event look like? And if it's a bunch of units that we don't get, when are we gonna get them? Like, how does this work? And it's our anniversary, and they're getting a load of special new units, and we're getting a load of imports. How does that work out? That doesn't make any sense. So their event could be different. It could literally be Luffy and Crollo, and then maybe like Don Krieg. I don't know. And also, how are they gonna handle? Because in theory, we're gonna be getting some hero grade units here. Hero grade units, from the perspective of the Taiwan version of the game, they do not see that as the same level of importance. So in the past, say for example with the JoJo characters, when they came out, they would make an effort to try and replace the skills of certain JoJo characters. When Dio came out and he was the yellow double tap 100% leader, whatever, you needed to replace him. So they brought out Kurapika to replace him. Like, they made a concerted effort to replace all the important skills on limiteds. But for the hero grade units, they didn't care. They did not care. There's a few, like, replacement hero units they released, like the Surplus Saints, but it's a rare thing. They don't care about it that much. So my hypothesis is there will be some hero grade units here for the Japan server that might be cool units, and Taiwan is going to get those units promoted into limited. Which is not that strange. They've done these a few times in the past. They did it during the Boba event. They promoted Bobo Patch. They had 3 limiteds in the Boba event. That's crazy. And just as recently as this last event, the Sensei feature, where we got Assassination Classroom and we got Neuro, which was the Yusei Matsui Sensei feature, but it actually ended up being called the 5.5 Anniversary Eve. Bitch Sensei, or Irina from Assassination Classroom, promoted to a limited. And the kit is basically just like super unimaginative, didn't do much to the actual kit that already existed on the hero grade unit, just made some slight tweaks to the stats and stuff to make it into a limited. Basically, a bit of a con, if you ask me, but very likely that is what they intend to do for this event. We will get like maybe 3 or 4 heroes, and maybe on Taiwan they get 2 heroes, and 2 of those get promoted to limited. Who they might be, how they're gonna do that, I don't know. But what about the Muso Densetsu? So far, yes, they have had some weird tomfoolery with Musos and Densetsus coming out on the Taiwan server before they come out on the JP server, but this Goku was promoted from event unit to Muso. Are they going to promote an event unit, hero grade unit to Muso? And if so, who's it going to be? And I have questions that I don't think are going to be answered in any meaningful, satisfying way beyond the devs just phoning in some nonsense. But we're obviously going to see the full contents of this event on Sunday, on the 15th. And I'm really hoping that the hero picks, that the event picks are more creative. I said this when I was doing my predictions for this event, or my hopes and dreams for this event. Even if the Muso is just another Luffy, and the Limiteds is just like another, we got another Kakashi or another whatever. I would like hero grade units to be something new. I'd like event units, if you can, to be some new stuff. And I would like to move away from the super popular series, focus on some other stuff. I will say, Dragon Ball, the amount of attention they have paid to what I call Dragon Ball Z era Dragon Ball, because they don't call it that in Japan, but you know, from Raditz showing up until Majin Buu Saga, the amount of attention they paid to that section of the story compared to the stuff that came previous, it's just silly to me. The fact that this Goku would be chosen over so many different awesome versions of Goku, I don't get it. But also, there's just been no focus on the classic story. It's always going back to the same place. Same with One Piece. Keep on going back to Wano. Yeah, it's current, it's relevant. I don't care. It's boring. And Bleach kind of does it too. It's always Thousand Year Blood War. Naruto loves to focus on the war, though. To be fair, like, we got a bit of Naruto content for 5.5, and that was like, not for 5.5, for the 5th anniversary, and that was like from earlier in Shippuden, which was kind of cool. I think people enjoyed that. I know it was just another Naruto, but it's still kind of cool. I'm lost. I'm lost, guys. Honestly, Luffy was expected. It's not like my most anticipated, most exciting Densetsu, but it was expected, and it makes sense, and I get it, and they're going to make loads of money, and that's fine. This Goku has me a little bit rattled. I cannot lie. It's just so far from what I would have chosen. It is crazy. Some are arguing that this does open the doors for, you know, other units to get Densetsu, Muso, whatever in the future. And it could be like some pretty cool characters that maybe would have got a limited before could now be a top tier unit. But that raises another question. How many Muso, how many Densetsu are we going to get? Is it going to be like 2 for big events and then 1 for like medium-sized events? And then, I don't know. And the way they're going to pick them, I mean, if this Goku is a Muso, bro, anyone could be one. Anyone could be, like, yes, there is an opportunity, say, for example, to go back and do Ichigo versus Byakuya as a Muso. I think people would be like, yo, that's pretty cool, actually. That would be quite good. And, you know, you could do that with a lot of big series. But say, for example, there is still that version of Gon that hasn't been added to the game yet from the Taiwan server, which was like the 5th unit, because obviously Goku, I listed those 4 units on the roadmap, but I mentioned Goku in the anniversary event. I expected him to be coming here because we saw him on the thumbnail of the live stream. But say they added that Gon and they said, this Gon is a Muso. No changes to the unit as it is. It's just Gon, and he has an aura, and he punches a guy, and that's a Muso. Like, would people still be excited about that? Because I wouldn't. If you wanted to go back and do Big Gon again and make him a Muso, maybe. But that would just be silly to me. But this Goku is silly to me, and he is here. So I don't get it. And I'm not hating on Dragon Ball. There's so much good stuff in Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball. This is a bad choice. Plain and simple, this is a bad choice for me. They'll probably make money off it because it's Goku, but it's a bad choice. Other than that, this page sort of is what it is. These units are what they are. I'm excited for Crollo because he's new and shiny, and I like Crollo. I think the other limit is lots of people will be excited for. I like them, but it's not as new and shiny because obviously it's a Taiwan import, but it's still very cool. The top half of the page makes me irrationally angry. So I genuinely don't know what to say. Obviously we'll find out more later. And at that point we can make decisions on what we actually think about this event. Because, you know, there have been times in the past where I've jumped to conclusions and I've said this event looks like arse, but then it comes and there's more to it than we thought, and hey, this is actually pretty cool. But I feel like this year, more often than not, what you see is what you get. And I don't feel like we have been treated very kindly in some of these events, especially this last one. If you're a fan of Assassination Classroom or Noro or both, I really don't think they got treated properly in terms of content. And I think there's a lot of instances of that this year for certain series. So I hope at some point in this live stream they're gonna give us some insight as to why they have decided to do this, what choices they're going to make moving forward, what the roadmap looks like, and dear God, can you please stick to it this year, and just sort of what other things they're working on to make this all make sense. And they will never watch this video. No one of any like relevance to the Jumputi Heroes dev team will ever watch this, but I need to put it out there. There is more to Weekly Shonen Jump than like the 10 most popular series. We do not have to spend so much time on One Piece and on Wano. We do not need to spend so much time on Dragon Ball, on Naruto, on Bleach, on Demon Slayer, on all these series. There are so many series. And if this Goku is worthy of a Muso, I suggest you go and you pick up some volumes of some series that maybe you're less familiar with, that are maybe not as popular as One Piece or Dragon Ball, and you can find some really cool hypebeast stuff to make into Musos, to make into Densetsus, whatever. And I know some people will say, oh, you know, it's not... How are they going to sell if it's just these random characters, whatever? Do you know how many people pull just because the units are good in Tower? Let's make them good in Tower. It's common sense. It literally does not take a genius. They have done it before. They have totally done it before. If you remember Ore Collection, there were a few units on that were literally only good in Tower, and people were like, damn, my guy, this is my guy. And they fell in love with the character because they were using them all the time. You could do the same thing here. Literally, if you had released Mike Guy, but just made it some random unit from one of the hundreds of other series in Weekly Shonen Jump, and just made them that exact same kit, people would have fell in love with that character. They were like, yo, this guy's amazing, he's destroying everything. There are so many years worth of content they are not touching. And I'm not talking about small series here. Even if we discount stuff that hasn't been added to the game yet, there are big series that are in the game they haven't fully utilized yet. And if we are talking about stuff they haven't added to the game yet, okay, yeah, there are some that can't be added, but they should be making an effort to add new series. I genuinely believe that. Even if you can't have Jujutsu Kaisen, even if you can't have Chainsaw Man, there are plenty of other series. Make it happen. And yeah, I don't know. At this point, I'm just sort of ranting. I did not expect to be this perplexed when the scans dropped. I was expecting Luffy. Beyond that, you know, I was thinking in the back of my head that the Taiwan imports wouldn't have been a surprise. But this Goku and the fact that we have a second Muso, I haven't even touched on the fact that it's like the top two units, the top half of this page, it's like 60k rubies to get both of them. 60k. Sure, they're going to give us a lot during this event, but they ain't giving us no 60k, I'll tell you that. And yeah, I don't know anymore. I do not know anymore. So I'm going to end it there. That's going to do it for this video. Please, please do share your thoughts in the comments if you have made it this far in the video. Because I'm interested to know. Sometimes I'm just out of touch with it. Sometimes people are going to come in and say, yo, that Goku's fire. I can't wait to pull for him. And I'm like, oh, damn, maybe I'm just being a salty little bitch. I don't know. But maybe I'm right as well. That's also possible. But nothing more to say for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you all, I guess, on the day of the live stream. That's Sunday. So see you guys then.